Okay, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough on Centerline Perimeter here. So Centerline Perimeter, as the book says, is a quick and accurate way to find a volume of concrete and perimeter for a foundation or a strip footing. So the formula is right here. It says Centerline Perimeter equals 2 times length plus width minus 4 times the thickness. So simply put here, perimeter subtract 4 times thickness. So this portion right here is outside perimeter. When we refer to a building plan, the dimensions we're given on the set of plans is generally to the outside of the foundation. In a situation like this, you can see over here that this is a footing. There's our little keyway, and the foundation wall is centered on the footing. These share a common center line. This is shown here in plan view, and this is section view. So from the section, you see the very center of the footing, 8 inches from the end here, is right down in the center of this, and 4 inches from here, which leaves a 4-inch projection right there. But they share a common center. So that's how Centerline Perimeter is going to be to our benefit for saving us a lot of time when we're calculating volume. Also calculating our form material to go on the outside of both of these surfaces. So in our example from the book, it says a footing there is 24 inches wide, 6 inches deep for a building that is 30 by 40. So I would sketch this out if I didn't have a drawing already to show these things here. So it's 30 feet this way by 40 feet that way, and 2 feet across here, or 24 inches. Drawn also in here is the center line. So the formula for that is outside perimeter subtract 4 times the thickness. So this portion here, 2 times 40 plus 30, so 40 plus 30, 2 times to give us this side and this side as well as those two, will give us the outside perimeter. So this number here, subtract 4 times the thickness, 4 times 2, 2 feet is the outside of our footing. Our footing is 24 inches wide. So this doesn't have any information on the foundation wall that sits on top of it, so we're just going to use it for the footing. So it's just a little strip footing, 24 inches wide, 6 inches deep, 40 feet by 30 feet. We have the perimeter already. We're going to subtract 4 times the thickness. The outside perimeter is 140 feet. 4 times 2 feet. Keep this unit of measure the same. That says 24 inches, so it was just converted to feet. 4 times 2 feet is 8 feet. The centerline perimeter is 132 feet. So that is this line here. If you snap down a line in the center of this footing and measured it, its linear measure would be 132 feet. Okay, that number in itself is not very valuable. However, to use it to calculate volume becomes quite valuable, and it saves us a lot of time. If we were to calculate this a traditional way, we'd have to break this into little rectangles here, something along this line. And I would calculate, volume of area A, and this is also the same size as that, so I would double that and calculate the volume of B, and this is also the same size as that, so I would double it up. There's quite a few steps. So the way we can use Centerline Perimeter to calculate volume is right here. Volume equals Centerline Perimeter times thickness times height. So volume in this case, our Centerline Perimeter is 132 feet times 2 feet. That's our thickness. And our height's only 6 inches, so 0.5 feet is 132 cubic feet. So for regular shape buildings, the process is exactly the same. The formula becomes perimeter, the same as what we were saying, but that needs to be outside perimeter. Subtract 4 times the thickness. There's another video which I posted which has a really weird shape with multiple corners on it. All of the corners cancel each other out, and it's still always 4 times the thickness. Now if we were to add a foundation wall to sit on top of our footing, in this case we have a 16-inch footing and an 8-inch height. If we placed a foundation wall in the center of this footing, and this footing would be 24 inches here now, and instead of that would be 6 inches. And on top we'll have a foundation wall that is 8 inches thick, and maybe it's 7 feet 6 inches high. So it shares the centerline perimeter like this. So what we have to do now is take our centerline perimeter, so to find the volume of this, take centerline perimeter times thickness times height. So in this case, centerline perimeter is still 132 feet. And then the thickness is 8 inches, so we have to convert that into feet. It's 0.667. So times 0.667 feet for the thickness there. And 7 feet 6 inches is the height from the top of footing to the top of the wall. So that's 7.5 feet. So multiply all those together and we'll have the volume of the foundation wall. So 132 times 0.667 times 7.5. The volume is 660.33 cubic feet. Other than volume, another way we can use our centerline perimeter is to calculate the linear footage of form material required for the outside and inside of the formwork. It doesn't matter what the thickness is. As the thickness increases, because it's an average, it's the center, if the thickness increases, the centerline perimeter will remain the same because the outside goes farther and the inside gets shorter. So let's look at this for example. Our outside perimeter we already calculated to be 140 feet long. So inside, let's do the math on that. It's 40 feet outside to outside. Take away 2 feet there, and 2 feet there leaves us with 36 feet. This is 30 feet. Subtract 2 feet there. 2 feet there is 26 feet. So inside perimeter equals 36 plus 26 times 2. So let's just go ahead and do that on the calculator. 36 plus 26 times 2 is 124. So our inside perimeter is 124 feet. Together is 264 feet. We took our centerline perimeter here, which is 132 feet, and double it, we get 264. So a quick way to find linear footage, whether it's on this wide footing here of 2 feet, or if it was a narrow 8-inch foundation wall sitting on the top here, 2 times the centerline perimeter, it will equal the linear footage of form ply or form material required for the project. The centerline perimeter can also be used to calculate the volume of a hollow cylinder. Before, we calculated it as the outside volume, the entire surface, the entire cylinder, and we subtracted the inside portion. So to draw that in plan view, it would look like this. And that says that little symbol there is diameter. So it's outside diameter from there to there is 8 feet. And this wall thickness here is 12 inches. So what we're trying to find is this center line right in the middle. Okay, now the way we did it before, we calculated the volume of the entire thing as if this wasn't hollow, and then we subtracted the interior of it here. So let's find out how we do it using centerline perimeter. So I sometimes like to call it centerline diameter, but it's or centerline circumference. So our centerline diameter is this measurement from here to here, so from center to center. So if it's 8 feet all the way across on the outside, we have to deduct 1 times the thickness. Half the thickness there, half the thickness there equals 1 time of the thickness, the whole entire thickness. So 8 feet, subtract 12 inches, subtract 1 foot, it is, equals 7 feet. So to find the centerline circumference, the formula is pi d. So pi times d. So I'm going to take 3.142 times 7. 3.142 times 7. And that equals 21.994. That is the centerline perimeter of this surface here. So now we have the center line. It works exactly the same as we did when it was rectangular. I don't have to subtract 4 times the thickness or anything because I already found the center of this. And I'll show you how this works in a second. So to find volume of this shape here, I'm going to take centerline perimeter times thickness times height. So centerline perimeter is 21.994. Our thickness here is 12 inches, so 1 foot. And then it's 22 feet high, so times 22. So when I do all that math, I have it up here. The answer is 483.8064. So I'll do the math anyway. So 21.994 times 22, 483.868. So I get a slightly different number than I did there. This number I know I used 3.1416. Down here I used 3.142. So I didn't round. I have 4 decimals there, and I only have 3 down here. Okay.